Hello parents and students, this is Ms. Hook. Today I'm going to be going over Section 5. Section 5 is completely optional, and if you do complete it, you will receive extra credit. Today I'm going to be going over spelling pages 244 and 246 and grammar pages 247 and 248. Again, this section, number 5, is completely optional and you will receive extra credit if you complete it. So we're going to start with page 244. On page 244, the students need to look through the spelling words to find the spelling word that best completes each analogy. So you're looking for words that are similar in meaning. So for example, number 1 says, happily is to joyously as rarely is to blank. So happily and joyously are two words that are synonyms. They mean pretty much the same thing. And then rarely is the other word, so you need to find the word that goes with rarely. Rarely is when something doesn't happen a lot. So the word that would fit in that analogy would be the word seldom. So you would write it on the line right here. Okay, and I'm going to skip down and do number 8 because I think the other ones are pretty easy. So for number 8, mountain is to peak as ravine is to blank. So a peak is part of a mountain. So for ravine, you're looking for a part of something else. So a ravine is part of a canyon. And so you would write that for number 8. So that's pretty much how you complete this page. You look at the two words, and then you have to find the word that completes the analogy, the spelling word. And for number 1, happily and joyously, those two words go together. So then rarely and seldom go together. Mountain, a peak is part of a mountain, and a canyon is part of a ravine. So that's how they are connected. The next page that I'm going to go over is page 246. Page 246 is the same as all of the other sections. The students need to read this paragraph and find the misspelled words and then spell them correctly. So you're going to start by reading. On their trip west, Lewis and Clark hired a French trader for his knowledge of Indian languages. They discovered that the trader's wife, Sacagawea, gave the crew more language support than the trader. So you would start by circling the words that are spelled wrong, the word support, and then you would write the correct spelling for number 1. And then the students will finish for numbers 1 through 12. The next page I'm going to go over is page 247. Page 247 is about abbreviations for people and places. An abbreviation is a short form of a word. Most abbreviations begin with a capital letter and end with a period, such as Miss or Mr. Both letters of state names are abbreviations. These two letters are both capitals and no periods are used. So here would be some examples. An example of an abbreviation for a person would be Mr., capital M-R period. And an abbreviation for a place would be Boulevard, capital B-L-V-D, period. And then this is the example they were telling you about with the state abbreviations. This is the abbreviation for Washington, W-A, and both are capitals with no periods. So for numbers 1 through 8, you should have received the paper with underlines. Unfortunately, due to a copying error, none of the underlines were present. So I'm going to start by first going through and telling you which group of words should be underlined in the sentence, and then I will do the example for number 1 with you. So it says, write each group of words, use an abbreviation for the underlined word or words. So in the first sentence, the underlined word should be company. Number 2, the underlined word should be junior. Number 3, the underlined word should be road. Number 4, the underlined word should be doctor. Number 5, the underlined word should be street. Number 6, there are 2 underlined words, Mr. and Senior. And then for number 7, drive, and number 8, Oregon, which is a state. All right, so now that we have all of the underlines, you will go through and you will write the other 2 words exactly the same, and then the underlined word is the one that you will write with an abbreviation. So for example, Shoshone Trading Company, you would write the first 2 words exactly the same. You want to make sure that you're writing them exactly the same with the capital S and the capital T. And then you would write the abbreviation for company, which is a capital C, an O, and a period. Same thing for the next one, Charles Pompey Jr. You would write Charles and Pompey, and then you would do the abbreviation for Junior, okay? And then all of these words, you're going to start the abbreviation with a capital and end it with a period, except for number 8, Beaver Creek. Again, you would write Beaver Creek exactly as you see it for number 8. And then you would write capital O, capital R for Oregon, and then no periods, and then 97004. Okay? And then the final page, again, is abbreviations for mailing addresses. An abbreviation is a short form of a word. Use abbreviations when writing street names and states in a mailing address. Abbreviations for words such as road and avenue start with a capital letter and end with a period. When writing the abbreviation for a state name, you use both letters as a capital and no periods. So here would be some examples. Road would be capital RD period for the abbreviation. Street, capital ST period for the abbreviation. Avenue, capital AVE with a period for the abbreviation. Court, capital CT with a period for the abbreviation. Post office, this one's a little bit tricky. It's a capital P, capital O, both words with a period. And then boulevard, capital B, LVD with a period. Now, to help you out with this, I went through and underlined all of the words that have to be abbreviated. That way it'll make it a little bit easier for you when you go to write the abbreviated address. So for number 1, Mr. needs to be abbreviated, company, drive, and Ohio. So when you would go to write, you would write Mr. capital MR with a period. Then you would write Pedro with his last name. And then the total pet supply. Again, you're writing every single word exactly as you see it, except for the underlined words, which have to be abbreviated. So company would be CO, and then 9302 Riverside, and then drive needs to be abbreviated, DR with a period, and then Toledo, comma, and then Ohio. Remember, both capitals, no periods, and then the zip code. Okay, so you are just taking the address label, you're writing all of the other words the same, and then you are putting in the abbreviations for Mr., company, drive, and Ohio. And then you would do the same thing for numbers 2 and 3. All right, that's it. And again, remember, section 5 is completely optional and will not affect your child's grade, but if you do complete it, you will receive extra credit. Thank you.